And I think that's how the sport should stand.
2:48 for that kilometre. And that's the slowest of the last three. And Kiprop back to the front again. It's real cat and mouse stuff here. Nobody, I think Kiprop did make a bid to get away before 5,000 metres. Didn't work. Was happy to let the Kenyans then take the lead for a little while. But maybe having a little bit of a breather, thinking, right, that's it, I want to move on now. Nyangero of Tanzania had enough. It's a warm night. I've been struggling in this heat as well, running.
You're not the only one, Steve, but we won't spend too much time on that one. Kiprop there, though, running so quickly down the back straight, just lifting the pace, just changing the rhythm of the event, and then settling down in the home straight. But all the time, he's looking up at the screen, and there's no information for him there. The only thing that's happening is there are 3 athletes on his shoulder. Now, just the other night, Dorcas Nzukuru of Uganda won the gold medal in the women's steeplechase, the first Ugandan gold medal in the Commonwealth Games ever in track and field athletics. And are they going to get another one tonight? Well, before the race, you would have favoured Boniface Kiprop. He's by far faster than any of these other athletes have ever run before. But these 2 athletes from Kenya and also Fabian Joseph from Tanzania are responding to every single injection of pace that Kiprop was able to make. Slowing down there in the back straight. You'll see him accelerate again and lift the pace, but there doesn't seem to be any trouble behind yet. There's 3 athletes for company. That's 1 more than he would really want. Probably 3 more than he'd really want, actually.
Yeah, there'll come a point where he will start to get concerned about this. He's probably at the moment thinking, okay, if I just keep this moving, that was a 65 lap, the previous one, so the pace moving around all the time. And here, you almost sometimes think of these 2 as teammates, Brendan. They've raced each other so often. Fabian Joseph from Tanzania moves alongside Kiprop. Both of them just 20 years of age. And it's the first time that we've seen Joseph, apart from the initial sort of injection of pace. Now, that's a slow lap there, 70 seconds. That's the slowest for quite a while. And you can see what it's done. They're all itching now, aren't they? They're all thinking, come on, I want to keep this rhythm going. I want to keep this pace moving along. Somebody in that 4, don't know who, somebody must think, oh, I don't mind if it slows because I've got quite a quick finish. Maybe none of them think that.
Well, good point, actually. But these are the hard laps in the 10,000 metres. And this is the hard way to do it. They're lifting the pace. You can see him again down the back straight, stretching it, trying to do something about it. The last lap was 70 seconds. This one's quicker. But still, he's not able to inject enough pace to do any damage behind him. And the 2 Kenyans, Nyangero, Geoffrey Kipngeno and Paul Langat together just behind the leader. This lap, I'm just looking down, Fabian Joseph of Tanzania, the half marathon runner, outstanding half marathon runner, comes on through. Let's just see if this lap's any faster, because you can sense that they're beginning to build, beginning to want to pick the pace up. 66 seconds, 70 seconds, now 66. But once again, it's another slowing down again.
That's hard when they do that. Most athletes, even the really best, still prefer things either to be built up gradually or nice and even pace, but the fast lap, slow lap way of running hurts, really does hurt. So Joseph in the front next time round. Just looking down, Gavin Thompson's just coming through with 7 to go, so next time round for the leaders will be 6 to go, I think, perhaps. I'm losing track of laps now. Anyway, there's a few laps still to go here with Joseph and Kiprop having to try and work out here what they're going to do. It is indeed 6 laps as they come round. What are they going to do here? Because I think this is a real Kenyan challenge here, as we see Geoffrey Kipngeno just sneaking through on the inside and Kiprop thinking, no, come on. At some point, somebody's got to put a real big lap in here, or a big couple of laps. That's a 64. It's hard to do a big lap, though, Brem, when you've just run a 65 and a 64.
Well, that's right. But there it goes, 64 seconds for that one. Nothing's happened, nothing's changed. And it's very hard for Kiprop when he looks at the personal best times of the others. He's a minute faster than anybody else at this event. And partly that's because these Kenyans haven't actually had a chance to run great 10,000 metre races. And he looks over his shoulder and he sees for company Geoffrey Kipngeno, whose best time is a minute slower than Boniface Kiprop, but that's nothing counting for this tonight. This is about a race. This is about who's going to be the strongest, and it's just getting a bit more consistent. They come down the bend into the home straight. Gavin Thompson, he's struggling now. He went 14:20 for the first 5,000 meters, but he's slowing now. He's going through a bit of a bad patch, and there's a group of 4 that are going to be closing down on him, eventually going to be catching him. And it's Kiprop again. Kiprop trying to shake off the others. But Geoffrey Kipngeno looks comfortable there, looks happy. He's not been interested in going in the lead. Fabian Joseph behind him from Tanzania, he took a little chance in the lead. That was a 66.7 lap, so there's no consistency. There's nobody trying to win this race yet. And still the 4 of them lock together for the medals. 1 Tanzanian, 1 Ugandan and 2 Kenyans. Who's it going to be? Well, I wouldn't like to make a bet here. Before the race, I would have favoured Boniface Kiprop, only because we've seen him run some outstanding races in the Olympic Games, in the World Championships. He's been 4th behind the great Ethiopian runners, but we've never seen so much of the others. We've seen Fabian Joseph in the yellow vest on the roads, but the 2 Kenyans have only run domestically, but they're clearly good athletes. They're clearly running well, and you just wonder if the confidence begins to grow as they round the bend. They come into the straight.
Five laps to go for Gavin Thompson, and he's just asking there. Yes, it is 5. He's maybe hoping that perhaps the 5 was referring to these guys, but it's not. It's just clicked over to 4. 4 laps for the leaders, and they're closing down on Gavin Thompson, and you're going to expect a burn-up. We've just had a slow lap there, 69. This really is odd the way that they're running this. Geoffrey Kipngeno looks very comfortable for me in 2nd place. Paul Langat's been reasonably happy most of the time to be at the back of the group. The 2nd of the 2 Kenyans there. Joseph, well, he's not the quickest finisher. He ran a good 5,000 meters early on. He must be getting a little bit tired. The only one of these 3 men to have run in the 5,000. He did run 13:12. They're heading for something now in the 27:50 mark. If it doesn't slow down too much, we'll expect a big burn up over the last couple of laps, I'm sure. But he's got to be worried, Kiprop. He's got to be concerned that he hasn't got away. As I said earlier on, he doesn't have the sort of pace you normally associate with needing to win when there's a group at the end of a 10,000 meters. He's always thereabouts, but never the one who comes through and kicks hard and wins, or even comes 2nd or 3rd. He's got to be thinking about what he's going to do now, and at some point he's just got to put his foot down, whether it's 2 laps out, 3 laps out, and make these guys work really hard.
But there's no comfort here at all. There's 4 athletes, 3 laps to go, a 68-second lap. And if you're happy, if you're going to follow, then you're very happy when they slow down with 68 seconds. There's no problem there at all. If you're able to stay with him when he runs 62 and 64. But now, Boniface Kiprop, as he passes Gavin Thompson, Gavin Thompson sportingly moving onto the outside. And I thought Kiprop was going to make this a long run for home, but suddenly he slowed down. Gavin Thompson going through a bad patch now, but he really has to dig in. He really has to work hard. The last kilometre now for the 3.5 laps for Gavin Thompson, 2.5 laps for the others. Gavin Thompson's finding this one difficult, but at least he put his head on the block, ran as hard as he possibly could to the 5,000 metres, the first 5,000 metres, and now he's paying the price of that. He's fading away, and the athletes come into the finishing straight. They look at the lap scorer. It now says, and it's a relief for a 10,000 metre runner when it says 2 laps to go. So now it's about tactics. It's about who's going to make the first move. It's about controlling your effort. It's about deciding when you're going to go. And any one of these 4 can win this race now. They've come so far, and they won't know enough about each other's speed. They won't know, like you do in a championship, when Haile Gebrselassie there, you know he's quick. When Paul Turget's there, you know he's pretty quick. When you see Kenenisa Bekele, you know he's very, very quick. But these 4, they'll know a little bit about one another, the 2 Kenyans, but the others won't really know in a race like this who actually has got the fastest finish. We don't know. That's what we're here for. Exactly.
Let's wait and see what happens here, because any one of these 4, I guess, must be thinking that they've got the finish, because nobody's made the big move as we approach just over 500 meters to go in this 10,000 meter final. And with Kiprop, Kipngeno, Joseph and Langat, really anybody's gold medal to win here. We had 3 athletes finish very close together in Manchester. Are we heading for something similar here as they approach the bell?
We certainly are heading for a close finish. Boniface Kiprop strikes for home now. He's working for it, he's going for it, but he hasn't run a consistent race. That was a 63-second lap, but he should have done that a little bit earlier. But when it gets within a lap and a half, then the other athletes can grit their teeth and hang on. Nyangero of Kenya looks comfortable in the back straight. Fabian Joseph, the half marathon runner, is hanging on there. A little gap opening to Langat, but these 3 are now settling down. Who's going to have the finish? Who is the fastest man here?
Kiprop trying to burn them off from the front. Kipngeno from Kenya just on his shoulder. Inside is Fabian Joseph, and they have to try and go around Aish from New Zealand. But Kiprop kicks again. He's gritting his teeth, but he hasn't got this one yet. Joseph trying to attack him as well. Kipngeno coming again for Kenya, but Kiprop running for the line. It's going to be close. Here comes Kipngeno. Will Kiprop make it? He's led most of the way. Boniface Kiprop gets the gold. Uganda's 2nd gold medal of the Commonwealth Games. He deserved it, I guess. He was the one who went for it. He was the one who struck out for home. Hoped that he had enough pace for the one time in his career to run the legs off everybody else. He left it late, but in the end, it was enough. 24 laps, couldn't get rid of the others, but the final 150 meters, he managed to do it. And I'm pleased, Brendan, because he's a very good athlete. As I said, he's finished just out of the medals at the last 2 major championships in the Worlds and the Olympics, and this was a good field here tonight. He was the favourite. It would have been a big disappointment had he not won, but he deserved that.
Down the back straight, Boniface Kiprop was really working hard. A 63-second lap before here, but he's got some company. He's got Kipngeno on his shoulder. He's got Fabian Joseph on the inside, and Boniface Kiprop, the man who came here with a time a minute faster than anybody else, suddenly sees the chance, accelerates there past the New Zealander Aish, and then digs in deep. He's digging so deep, he's working so hard. Fabian Joseph of Tanzania is chasing the Ugandan, and then the big finish by Geoffrey Kipngeno from Kenya. Can he close on him? Can he catch him? Kiprop's desperate now. He's lunging for the line, and there, a Ugandan athlete, the 2nd gold medal for Uganda. Boniface Kiprop, the man who came in here as the favourite, but we didn't expect him to make it as difficult as he did. A very good performance by Geoffrey Kipngeno of Kenya in 2nd place, and Fabian Joseph takes the bronze medal. Well done. And there comes, just crossing the line in 29 minutes and 42 seconds, is the only English athlete in here, and that's Gavin Thompson.